Rise and Shine Rwanda, it's Thursday the 18th of June.
Coming up on today's Rise and Shine Rwanda.
The Genocide Archive of Rwanda expands as its online platform gets upgraded.
We meet a lady who has turned her love for food into a lucrative business.
And the new release and cult classic of this week's movie review.
If it fails, you go down in flames quicker than Hindenburg.
Good morning, it's just after 7 o'clock in the morning and you're watching Rise and Shine Rwanda with me, Regis Isheja.
And me, Makeda Mahario. Over the next hour, we'll be bringing you all the latest news, sports, and business headlines from here in Rwanda and around the world. And the Rise and Shine team are here with us in studio. Fidelis, what is happening in the world of business?
Well, in Business Today, I get to share with you some of the most trending business stories at the moment. And of course, in the past we've done a lot of farming stories, but on men. So today we're twisting it up, and we'll have a lady who's coming on the show.
You know, you're all about the ladies.
I'm all about the ladies this month. I'm not even joking about it.
I love it. I love it. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, all that and more is still to come. But first, Rise and Shine story of the day.
Just last week here in Kigali, Aegis Trust launched an expanded online genocide archive of Rwanda with over 8,000 historical photos, videos, documents, audio files, and much, much more. The platform serves as a tool for learning, researching, fighting genocide denial, and promoting peace building and reconciliation. Take a look.
Aegis Trust, I want to thank you for this collection, for this technology, for this new tool, for the capacity that we've built here. Probably very few people in our world don't believe this is happening in Rwanda. If they read this, if they access this tomorrow, they will believe that there is a group of Americans, Britons, Dutch, and every other person except Rwandans doing this.
Families and friends of victims of the genocide against the Tutsi, as well as local NGOs and the government, have collaborated on the project. The Genocide Archive of Rwanda was built to educate about the genocide against the Tutsi and provides primary source material for researchers and students to use in their work. It is managed by Aegis Trust Rwanda, a genocide prevention organization.
12 years ago, when the Kigali Genocide Memorial was being developed, by then massive information were collected to build up the museum exhibitions we have. And then after official opening, the KGM, the question was, what do we do with these physical materials, but also digital files that we had collected? That's how Aegis thought about establishing an archive and documentation center. And from 2004 to 2010, we were engaged into massive collection of genocide evidences, being documents, photographs, but also testimonies from different people who had experienced the genocide in different ways.
The digital platform is accessible from anywhere in the world and enables users to view archival material about the 1994 genocide, as well as post-genocide reconstruction efforts in Rwanda.
In 2010, we launched the very first online digital archive because we thought it was very important to collect in terms of preserving the memory of genocide, but also let people know that these materials, these evidences exist. So that's how we launched the very first digital archive. And what we did last week when we launched the upgraded version was basically coming up with new technologies, but also new content. Before, in 2010, we were more focused on historical evidences. But this time we have added sections regarding the reconstruction of Rwanda, which is very important. So now, this online platform, for us, it's first for Rwandans because it is our history. But second, since it is online, it is for the worldwide public, I would say. we see this as an education tool, because what we have there is really evidences about genocide, how it happened, and who was involved. It's a tool for prevention, because when you want to prevent genocide and mass atrocities, you document and show how that happened. So we believe that this is a tool that will help educators, researchers, and the general public to learn about what happened in Rwanda, to understand it, but also do more research and analysis to be able to come up with preventive mechanisms to ensure that never again is really never again.
bana b'i Rwanda nta mweko ntiwakenyera kandi ukenyeye ntiwitere ntiwaberwa uwo mweko nawise umuco umukenyero ni amahoro umwitero gemona ari iterambere.
An upgrade that has not gone unnoticed. Regis Sheja, Rise and Shine Rwanda. And joining me in studio now is Claver Irakoze, manager of the Genocide Archive of Rwanda. Welcome to the show, Claver.
Thank you.
All right, now, when I can imagine how exciting it was for you guys, especially the youth, getting together, as we heard the Honorable Minister Busige talking about how a lot of people think this was done by Americans, this was done by Britons, this was done by other people, but this is actually the Rwandan youth that got together and did this.
Yeah, I would say that is the amazing part of it, because for now we have a team of 22 staff, permanent staff. They've been going through different professional trainings, and today we are happy that we're able to launch this upgraded version of the online archive, which belongs to Rwandans, but also which was achieved through Rwandan staff.
Now, Aegis Trust, we did a report with you guys in April during the Genocide Commemorative Week. Now, when you look at what's to do now going forward, because this is an online platform, you've been able to avail certain documents, certain photographs, certain videos. Going forward now, is it more people who are going to be coming to you guys and availing documents to you guys? Is it more the NGOs that are doing this? How is it going to work to be able to have all these documents and videos and photos?
I would say that the online platform is a living platform. The work continues. So we launched, yes, but I would say that was a start of a new journey. So we are looking at engaging more institutions and individuals who might have different collections regarding the history of genocide in Rwanda, but also most importantly, what is happening now in the new Rwanda. The reconstruction part is very key for not only Rwandans, but also people from countries in crisis today to believe that peace is possible after horrible past. So we are looking more at communicating this new platform, but also make sure that people can contribute to it, because we believe so many evidences are still scattered around Rwanda and outside Rwanda.
Now, Claver, how's key having this information when you know that you have to deal with genocide deniers? We know they're all over the world, here in Rwanda, and scattered all over the planet. When you have to face them, is this that important? Because with this you have information, you have facts, and the more and more we move forward after 1994, the more there's a risk of losing that information.
Exactly, and that's why we're doing this work, to ensure that the memory of genocide can be preserved, and preserved for a very long time. So now, talking about people denying the genocide, we believe that what we put online and what we have in our physical archive room are evidences of what happened. Therefore, people cannot deny while we have evidences. That's one. Two, we go beyond the collection of evidences and collect new stories of Rwanda today. On our platform, we have, for example, perpetrators' confessions, which is something also counting deniers, because a perpetrator who is able to confess today and tell the truth, that is another evidence that genocide happened, because it comes from someone who was involved. At the same time, we want to hear from young people of Rwanda. As you know, today Rwanda is made of more than half is youth. So we believe that these are people who can make a difference. and we are capturing what they're doing in terms of building peace in their communities, at the same time engaging their parents, their groups, associations.
Great.
So this is the story we want to tell.
Now, one has to think that when you were doing this, you thought of researchers, you thought of students, and all those that need this information to actually make it available. Now, if you think about it, we saw the Honorable Minister Johnson Busige, who was there, the Honorable Jean-Philbert Nsengimana as well. ICT is something very important, especially in today's Rwanda, but for the youth also. Now, is it important to tell the Rwandan story after the genocide, to show what Rwanda has been able to accomplish after the genocide?
Yes, it is. And this is something that we will do for years and years. In terms of technology, this platform is availing evidences, but also the access part of it is approved. So basically, we have testimonies. One can last 2 hours, for example. But we perform what we call indexing. That is describing the content of the 2 hours testimony by using keywords. So basically, researchers will not have to spend 2 hours listening to testimonies. Rather, they will be using specific keywords to capture specific time codes within the testimony and then be able to undertake their research. That is something that technology is allowing end users to do with this platform. For documents, we have a way of tagging or sharing specific phrases within a document. And we believe by using or exploring these possibilities that the platform is offering, people will be able to share specific parts of the content we have in the platform and share them on social media, and that will help us raising awareness about the information we have in that, but also about the genocide in general and the reconstruction of Rwanda.
Now, Claver, the launch was last week. Going forward now, after looking at what happened and looking at the success of the launch as well, looking forward, what do you want to accomplish? Looking forward, what do you want to do? Where do you want to see this online platform go?
We want people to use this platform, and we want to hear from them. Basically, we're looking for their feedback, but also new ideas on how we can improve this work, but also sustain it. So we've already got a number of feedback since last Tuesday, and most of the users who come to us are really happy with what we have accomplished so far, but they're also proposing new ways in which we can improve the access part. At the same time, there are some people telling us that they have content that they can avail to us, and we feel supported in this journey. And we also look forward to see the education sector in Rwanda, the research sector, using this platform to communicate what is there.
Well, you know what we want you to do next time you come here? Do the same thing you did in the video, where you're actually explaining to everybody what's happening, the experience in itself. Next time you come here, I think we're going to do that.
Thank you so much.
All right, we appreciate that. Thank you, Clever.
Thank you.
All right, you're watching Rise and Shine Rwanda. We'll be right back after the break.
Here is to traveling and saving. Starting 1st of April to the 1st of June, travel with Rwanda and take advantage of our reduced fares and enjoy our world-class services in great comfort and safety.
Fly our dream to the heart of Africa.
Welcome back to Rise and Shine Rwanda. Time now for your business news with Fidelis Karangwa.
Business stories making headlines today. Equity Bank Group has launched a new initiative aimed at increasing financial literacy among rural women. The new phase New Voices initiative targets 1 million rural women countrywide and is focusing on rural areas because it is where the majority of women live. It is expected that this will help equip farmers with skills to help them improve output and look at farming as a business. The Ministry of Trade and Industry is training people to help empower entrepreneurs of small and medium enterprises to address capacity challenges. Speaking at the opening of a two-day second SMEs forum convened in Kigali, officials said inadequate skills, limited access to finance, management of resources, lack of access to markets, and market information are among the main challenges facing local SMEs. This forum is therefore meant to provide opportunities for stakeholders to network and share views on SMEs development in the country, as well as address their challenges so as to generate more jobs and exports. Now, we know that farming is largely practiced here in Rwanda, but for subsistence purposes, which is why the government has been putting a lot of effort in encouraging farmers to practice commercial farming. In today's story, we meet a woman who has been turned her passion for food into a successful farming career that she would have otherwise never come across. Take a look. For Florence, a married woman with a beautiful baby boy, never in her wildest dreams did she think that her love for food, cooking, and food shows would eventually lead her into a farming career at some point. Having started off as a sales and marketing officer at Kigali Farms, how did she end up as a self-renowned farmer?
Kigali Farms wanted to concentrate on the social aspect of their business, and I came in and opened up my distribution business. I resigned as a sales and marketing manager and took over the business aspect of Kigali Farms. So we are partners, and that's how I found myself going into farming without really having like a long-term goal or farming itself.
With over 400 farmers working with Kigali Farms since it started in 2010, a good portion of them are now dealing in mushroom farming, where they are trained on the best ways to grow these products in order to ensure the best output during the harvest time. And for most, this has become quite a lucrative business for them.
Yeah, for farmers, it's a nice business. They have a choice of selling, finding the markets themselves, selling to their neighbors and so on, or sell back to us. We give every farmer the option to sell any part or all of their production to us, so they're guaranteed to have access to market, but they don't have to. They can also find better prices outside if they want to. So it's an easy solution.
By selling specialty crops like mushrooms, strawberries, and artichoke, among others, Florence has captured the attention of many restaurants in Kigali that incorporate these crops into their meals, and the money has sure been coming in impressive amounts.
What happens is that when you concentrate and focus on whatever it is that you're doing, somehow you get in touch with the right people, because that is where your mind is focused. That's what you're constantly thinking of. The profitability side, I'll be honest with you, I was not looking at the money aspect so much, but it has come along with it, because being, to be able to sit and talk with a chef and tell him, I know for a fact you'll not get this produce in the market. I'm the only one selling it. And if you do, it will probably be processed or, something that has been imported, in brine filled with, you're not even sure of the quality. And I'm telling you, like I'm getting you these, for example, snow peas, they were harvested yesterday. I can tell you I'm getting you rhubarb, they were harvested this morning. Mushrooms, they were harvested this morning. So the profitability side of it, it comes. It just naturally comes. For me, the main focus is being able to get something that is unique and something that is fresh, and to make my consumers happy.
With plans to buy land and start farming these crops on her own, this lady has shown us that there's indeed success when you keep your eyes on the price. Kangwa Fidelis, Rise and Shine Rwanda. And joining us now in studio is Florence Mwashimba, the co-founder of Damir Limited. Welcome, Florence, to the show.
Thank you.
Now, tell us, for most women, it's not always easy getting into businesses, because for the longest time, people have always thought businesses should be reserved for men because, they're better at arguing, they're better at making business deals. So what has your experience been like being a woman who's got into business right now, especially in a country that's still quite new to this kind of thing in Rwanda?
Well, thank you first for having me here. It's very interesting that you'd say that, but I've not had any challenges really with people. The key thing here is to be confident about what you're doing. You need to understand what it is that you're selling. At the end of the day, people will listen if what you're giving them is of value.
Yes.
So my sex has never come to play. A few people have asked me, like, how does this affect, like, as a woman and as a mother and a wife?
Or at banks, when you go to ask for loans, how does that work? You don't have any problem whatsoever?
None.
Okay.
Guys here are very supportive. Many of my clients, you will find also that they do understand having men and women working.
Yes.
There's not been an outright can I say discrimination because I'm a woman. They see me handling my mushrooms, I carry the crates. They don't offer any help. I don't get offended. I'm doing my job. They're happy. We're all good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. So now you've started this business, and clearly it's been working out very well for you.
Right.
But you don't often see people doing this kind of business at the moment, mushroom selling, delivering to restaurants at the moment. So why do you think has been the reason for that? Is it that people don't know that it exists, or that how beneficial it could be, or is it that people have been laid back and not considering it as something that could be profitable?
Well, it's just a human thing for people to go with the norm. And, acclimatizing and changing is not something that comes naturally or easy for anyone.
Yeah.
Maybe for me, it was a thought process that came easy for me because I come from a place where in Kenya, for example, competition is very stiff. Even from the time you're in school, you're taught you have to think outside the box.
Yes.
Going with the norm is just not it could be a good thing. It can be good for you and profitable, but doesn't necessarily mean that that's the only way you can be able to do business.
Yes.
And it's a mentality I've always carried out. I'm always looking for opportunities. Right now, even as I'm doing my business right now, it's not that I've done this now, I'm okay. No, I'm open to, every time I meet people, I'm always talking about what I'm doing because it's good to get ideas, to bounce them off people, and discover ways in which you can grow. Yes.
Now, since you came to Rwanda, what would you say has been one of the things that you've enjoyed the most about working in this market compared to maybe any of the other markets that you've seen or you've worked in before?
Well, I love driving. So the scenic views here, I never get tired of them. It always has a calming effect on me.
Yes.
And the deliveries can get quite tedious.
Yes.
If you're doing, for example, there are days I'll do 100 kilograms of deliveries of mushrooms. And, moving from one place to another can be quite tedious. So the hills, the scenery makes it more enjoyable than it usually, otherwise on a flat land and just same old concrete building and everything. The thing that used to annoy me a bit in terms of the speed in which people do things is actually a good thing for me now because guys actually want to take the time for you to understand what it is that you're doing. And considering this is a niche market, you don't want to be rushed through this new product.
Yes,
you want to take time to explain to somebody.
And understand.
Right. How to cook it, how do you prepare it, how do you present it. So what was annoying me initially is actually a perfect thing for me right now. And this is typical of the culture here, which has worked very well for me, and now I embrace it completely.
Now, you've started this business in Rwanda, and clearly it's been working out. Do you see yourself maybe doing it in Kenya? So why not Kenya? Why do you see yourself maybe going to Kenya and being as successful as you are here in Rwanda? Well,
to be honest with you, I haven't thought that far in terms of where I would want the business to go, like reach the... Of course, I'd love it to have a wide reach.
Yes.
But in terms of, do I want to do it in Kenya or Uganda, I'm open to any opportunity that will make this business grow. So I'm not shutting myself and say I'll not do it in Kenya or wherever. I'm flexible. Right now, though, my focus is to grow the business here because it's amazing the level of opportunity this country has. In terms of there's so much untapped potential. For me, I'm not even thinking of expanding when I already see here there's so much that is untapped. Just to start off with the crops alone, to grow them.
There's so much.
So much to do.
Now, you'd already told me before that one of the challenges that you're facing is there's demand for the crops, but not as many farmers are interested in growing these specialty crops. So we know that's one of the challenges. Are there any other that you face in your everyday, in your everyday life while doing this business?
Well, there is also the unreliability that comes with it sometimes. You can have a gentleman's agreement with a farmer about the produce, and then when they see it's taking off, they decide to
go do their own thing.
To do their own thing, which there's nothing wrong with that. It's just that, if we had an agreement, how many kilos I require and all these things, when you start playing these shifty games, it affects the business. That is one of the major problems. And then another one is also sometimes is lack of planning.
Yes.
Trying to get people out of the norm that I was talking about,
Yes.
where someone wants to grow everything at the same time and then harvest at the same time, then you have a dry spell.
Yes.
So trying to get somebody out of that mentality and trying to tell them, look, that you can actually stagger your growth so that you can have the produce all year round is also a bit challenging. Not so challenging, but there's a bit of challenge there. Yeah.
Now we already know you already have one store that's selling, and you're already going to to your clients every day delivering your produce. But what other plans do you have in the near future in case someone is interested to maybe partner or invest? I mean, people are always looking for investment opportunities.
Right.
What should we expect from Florence in the near future?
Well, I definitely want to open more stores. Where I am right now at Sonatib is not convenient for everyone. So I do see myself having a store in every location. So, like in Kiovu, at least you can get something, town.
Yes.
In Kimurura area, you can get something. Also, I am looking into partnering, like doing online, which would be much easier for me because the deliveries, like I said, can be quite tedious, and especially the individual deliveries. So, I have had a few talks like with Hello Food to see if we can be able to put some of my produce in there and, just look at any online opportunity that is there. One other thing that is the major one is to actually go into growing the crops myself, which is what I'm in the process of actually doing. Looking for the land, then starting to cultivate the crops, because I do want to be able to have that reliability.
And you can trust that you have deliveries on time because it's your own thing.
Exactly.
Okay.
And apart from that, most important, organic.
Nice.
Yes.
Very good.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much, Florence, for coming to the show.
Thank you so much for having me.
Okay. Well, you're up to date today's business headlines. Post news coming up next in just a minute with Regis Sheja.
Welcome back to Rise and Shine Rwanda. Time now for your sports news. I'm Regis Sheja. Starting with local sports, Rwanda became a member of the Japan Karate Association, JKA, one of the most influential and oldest karate organizations in the world. The announcement was made after the 3-day JKA technical seminar at Amahoro National Stadium in Remera, the first of its kind in Rwanda, conducted by 3 prominent Japanese instructors led by JKA Executive Director Mori Toshihiro. In addition to seeing several karatekas promoted, Toshihiro awarded John Sainzoga his 6th dan, Rwanda's highest so far. Sainzoga's honorary award, Toshihiro said, was for his assistance and promotion of karate in Rwanda. Thousands of mourners, including rugby greats Jonah Lomu and Tana Umaga, attended the funeral on Wednesday of former All Black Jerry Collins, who was remembered as a wicked, mischievous young man who never forgot where he came from. Collins, 34, was killed alongside his partner Adila in a car accident on a highway near Béziers in southern France on the 5th of June. The couple's 3-month-old daughter, Ayla, remains in a serious condition in a French hospital. More than 3,000 people packed the Te Roparara Arena in the suburb of Porirua, north of Wellington, where Collins was raised. Many thousands more stood outside as family, friends, and former teammates remembered the famous All Blacks hardman. Collins was a powerfully built flanker known as the Terminator for his bone-crushing tackles, who played 48 tests for New Zealand between 2001 and 2007. Moving on to National Basketball Association, the Golden State Warriors capped a brilliant season with a 105-97 victory over LeBron James and the Cleveland Cavaliers to win the NBA Finals for the first time in 40 years. The Warriors, the top-seeded team in the playoffs after bringing the best record from the regular season, won the best-of-7 championship series 4-2. Stephen Curry and NBA Finals most valuable player Andre Iguodala had 25 points apiece for Golden State, while James once again led the way for the injury-hit Cleveland by pouring in a game-high 32 points. The victory made Golden State the first NBA team to win a title behind a roster without any previous finals experience since the 1991 Chicago Bulls. And this is the moment I've been waiting for. Joining us in studio now is once again our resident NBA correspondent, Alistair Muhibe. Welcome to the show once again.
Thanks again for having me.
All right, this is going to be a lot of fun because we get to talk about the NBA Finals, how everything unfolded, but also about what we're going to be looking forward, to, the NBA draft, the off season, and then, you know, what to expect in the 2015-2016 season. So, first of all, congratulations, because you predicted it was going to be Golden State who was going to win,
right,
and in 6 games, and it did happen.
Right. So, you know, again, thanks for having me on the show. I have just a few quick shout-outs I'd like to make. First being to both the Cleveland Cavaliers and the Golden State Warriors for an amazing final series. And, you know, it went the way I predicted, so I'm happy about that. And, you know, just shout out to both coaches. You know, it was both rookie coaches, first-timers. They did a great job. Obviously, Steve Kerr getting the edge and out-coaching him in the end.
His sixth ring.
His sixth ring, yeah, which I was about to mention, which is unbelievable. Also, a quick shout-out to my boy Cliff back in Ottawa. He suggested I take my talents, my analyst talents to Super Sport.
I saw that,
But sorry, Cliff, I'm actually going to be staying home here at Rise and Shine, so I'm happy. But, you know, it all came down to this. LeBron James, you know, for me, he was the MVP. I know of the finals. It went to Iguodala, and you know it's very uncommon. I think the last time it happened was Jerry West back in the late '60s or '70s, if I'm correct, that he won the Finals MVP on the losing side. I think LeBron James did all he could with the injury-ridden Cavalier teams that we saw throughout the playoffs, and you know it just wasn't enough. And it goes to show, you know, this is, first of all, defense wins championships. And I think both sides did a great job of doing that. And it's a team game. And the Golden State Warriors were able to overcome.
Now, you and I both know that you need a big shot Bob. You need a Rick Fox. You need a Derek Fisher, Tony Kukoc, Steve Kerr to win championships. Andre Iguodala, even if we've known him since the Sixers days and then him moving forward, playing for Denver after that, and then now in Golden State, I mean, we know what he's capable of. We just didn't know he could be this effective without having to score 45 points, right?
Yeah, I mean, he's exactly those guys you just said. He's that tangible guy who, you know, didn't start a game all season, came off the bench and did what he had to do. He played, I think, more minutes than the actual starter, Harrison Barnes. It's just what he does. And he's a team player. He was okay with sitting on the bench if he had to, sacrificing, which I found most of the players on this Golden State team were able to do throughout the playoffs. And just to get away from that for a second, for example, David Lee was called upon, I think, in Game 3, played incredible minutes. I mean, scoring 12 points in 9 minutes, and then they just take him off, and which was a bold call on Steve Kerr's part, putting in Festus, and he had.
Do you think Steve Kerr did call Greg Popovich or during the finals?
You know, I think he's just. He was just good as a player at observing and taking in what the coaches wanted out of him. And I think he was able to take that from all his different experiences and just use it. And it was evident.
And he was an analyst too. That helps because you get to watch the game.
You get the other side, the perspective of you know, just kind of not being the one that all the pressure's falling onto, and you're actually learning the game at the same time that you're analyzing it. So, but I mean, back to Iguodala, he's just. I wasn't really surprised. I know he had that in him. A lot of people did, and I'm sure Golden State did when they took him. But just it was great to see him go the entire season without being that guy, that you know, one of the core guys on that team. But I mean, actually, he did become one of the core guys and the MVP in the end.
Now, when we talk about winners, I mean, Steph Curry, this is his first finals. He's one of one. LeBron James is 2 of 6. You know I was gonna go there.
Yeah.
He's 2 of 6 now. 6 finals, lost to the San Antonio Spurs in 2007, lost to the Dallas Mavericks in 2011, lost to the Spurs last year, loses to the Golden State Warriors this time around. I mean, yes, he did win 2 championships in a row with the Miami Heat, but when it's all said and done, because it's only going to get tougher and tougher now as you advance in age, it becomes tougher and tougher. That Mount Rushmore conversation we've been having, every time I compare players, I have a tendency of taking Michael Jordan aside because he's 6 for 6, unblemished
just in a
career.
class of his own.
I mean,
Yeah.
you can touch him.
Yeah.
And then you move forward, you have your Larry Birds and your Magic Johnsons, and of course, you know, Bill Russell, greatest winner of all
Right.
time. But then again, defense wasn't the same back then.
Yeah.
What do you feel LeBron James' place in
Where his
history
place.
will be there?
You know, this was an amazing playoff run for him. So I had tweeted it the other day, I think just before Game 6. I said something along the lines of, you know, I think I can now say that LeBron James is probably the top 2 greatest players of all time without hesitation now. Yeah, and that's just based on this playoff performance. And, you know, not only because of the stats he put up, I really think he became a different player this year. He kind of has a little bit more of a killer instinct. He's definitely a leader, bringing this injury-ridden team this far against a Golden State team that's probably one of the best teams he's ever met in the finals. So back to your point about the Mount Rushmore. I still think at the end of the day it comes down to the rings. And, you know, he doesn't have enough of them for me to put him on today, but I think he still has time. He's 30, 31.
But when you remember about the 80s and the 90s with Kareem Abdul-Jabbar,
Yeah.
and then when you think about, because he's tied with Isaiah Thomas now, he has 2 rings.
Yeah.
And then you have like the Kobe's and the Shaq who have won multiple rings.
Yeah.
So it becomes a bit complicated. Then you have Tim Duncan and, you know, that dynasty as well.
I think you also have to look at who he's played with. I know people always say don't use that excuse and what, but I mean, and I know you don't want to talk about Jordan, but he had Hall of Famer on his team throughout, I think, all of, you know, and so, and I don't want to use that as an excuse because Kobe also had it, but Kobe won on his own. And I just still think that LeBron just hasn't, I don't know, it just hasn't been his, you know, his time, I guess, in these losses that he's had against the Mavericks. I think they should have won. I don't know. That's
2011, that's a travesty for a lot of people.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. And it was a huge learning curve, I think, on his part. But this one, against the Spurs, they played unbelievable. This one really hurts because, I don't know, I think he's almost at the point where he's doing everything he can.
Right.
He just doesn't have the support.
All right, now before we move on, we have to look at what's to come. The draft, number 1, and then the off-season, the possible acquisitions here and there, the deals, the trades. What do you see coming from now on?
Yeah, you know, the draft, I like to personally watch it just for those lottery teams. The one I was looking at forward to was the Knicks.
Right.
They, I think, have the 4th pick, which I don't know.
Not really change anything, though.
Well,
I mean,
I don't know.
It's a mentality that has to change because you and I remember the Sprewell and the Allen Houston.
Yeah.
But Shaquille Ewing teams, it's not the same thing now.
Yeah, it's not. And you know, I don't know if Phil Jackson, is he really the guy who's gonna transform it? I think he can, just based on his experience with.
It has to come down from the management, though.
I think so. That's the other thing, because I feel like he's just there. You know, he's getting a nice salary. He's getting paid. I don't know how much influence or how much he even cares so much for their success. But I really want to kind of see a revamp of the Knicks. I was a fan back in the Sprewell days, and they're just that team. It's the New York Knicks. Come on, I don't know. In my opinion, that's one of the changes that I'd like to see. Or sorry, yeah, them being a better team.
The OKC Thunder, of course. We have to move on. They're telling me here that we are over.
Okay, see, I'll quick it up. You know, they were injury ridden. I see him coming back stronger. Durant, Westbrook, he's a machine. That's not a problem. The other teams I'd like to see kind of, you know, and so we didn't talk about this, but the Clippers and their changes.
Great.
I think that Stevenson going there is great for them, and also having Doc. He's one of the only guys I think who can handle personalities in that case.
Degree, yes.
Yeah, but I mean, it's going to be a tough Western Conference next year. No changes there, as it always is. The East Coast, I think the Chicago Bulls, if they stay healthy,
will be back, yes.
With a Rose after a full year of playing time, they'll be all right. The Cavs will be there again. I see them going back to the finals. And in the West, it's just kind of up in the air. But, yeah, I mean, it's going to be an amazing season.
Well,
we got Wiggins, Rookie of the Year, who's going to show out. All-Star game in Toronto. Don't forget
cannot
that.
wait to see that, too. Listen, we got a lot to talk about. We'll be back clearly to talk about, you know, the off-season and all that.
Yeah.
But thank you. This has been a great season, and hopefully next season will be as great.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Thank you,
Pleasure being
Alistair.
here.
You're watching Rise and Shine Rwanda. Stay tuned. We'll be right back with the news headlines.
Welcome back to Rise and Shine Rwanda. Let's take a look now at news making headlines here in Rwanda and around the world.
Rwanda has embarked on a drive that seeks to promote early childhood development in efforts to improve survival probability rates for children and lead to optimal growth and development. The Early Child Development Policy and Strategic Plan is expected to ensure that all children in Rwanda develop a well-rounded manner through the provision of integrated health, early stimulation and learning, and protection services for families and communities. Early childhood development is said to be critical to the maturing of a child's cognitive, social, emotional, and physical development.
The UN World Food Programme has provided 150 Android tablets worth 61 million Rwandan francs to assist the collection of accurate information needed to evaluate food security in the country. The tablets were given to the Ministry of Agriculture and Animal Resources and will enable the ministry to better collect a wide range of data from all corners of the country within the shortest period of time. The tablets are expected to improve the efficiency and accuracy of data collection in a speedy and environmentally friendly way, reducing the amount of paper forms being used.
The Agaciro Development Fund Corporate Trust is expecting about 1.4 billion Rwandan francs in returns on its first ever investment at the end of this financial year. This follows an investment of 25.5 billion Rwandan francs in short-term deposits with banks and treasury bonds. Officials say the investments were made in September of last year at the rate of an annual interest of between 8 and 12% and are expected to mature at the end of the current financial year that closes June 30th. The returns will significantly increase the accumulated funds, which as of last week stood at 26.5 billion Rwandan francs.
And in international news, the government of Niger has reported that 33 migrants have died in the Sahara Desert in the country while en route to Europe this year, including 18 found dehydrated last week. The international assessments have put the number closer to 50. Thousands of people attempt to cross the harsh terrain in order to reach the Libyan coast, where they plan to begin another dangerous trip to Europe by boat. According to an Interior Ministry statement, 6 foreigners were found dead near a road between Agadez and Libyan border last month, while 9 were found dead at the beginning of this month and 4 more are missing on a road to Libya. It is said that these figures offer a glimpse into what migration experts say is a hidden tragedy in the Sahara. Lots more still to come. We take a look at the movie review and we get into our daily debate section, Hot Topics. We'll be right back.
Here is to traveling and saving. Starting 1st of April to the 1st of June, travel with Rwanda and take advantage of our reduced fares and enjoy our world-class services in great comfort and safety.
Fly our dream to the heart of Africa.
Welcome back to Rise and Shine Rwanda. Lifestyle now, Makeda. This is my favorite day of the week. You already know that.
It's the movie review.
Right.
Okay, so let's get into the first movie. This one is going to be coming out tomorrow. So for all of you who, want something to do over the weekend, this is the perfect movie.
Everybody has been waiting for this one.
It's very highly anticipated. Let's check
right?
out the trailer.
Sadly, all good parties must come to an end.
Lloyd! You're upset.
Upset? I gave you $100 million. You're 15 million over. You agreed to not go over.
Because you said I couldn't direct unless we agreed.
It's like when a girl asks if you want to bang her hot sister. Of course you say no. Neither of you really believes you mean it, though.
What is he doing here?
I'm ready for trouble.
These girls out here are crazy. Oh, no! We know each other. Do you remember me?
Didn't you used to be really fat?
This movie's enormous. If it fails, you go down in flames quicker than Hindenburg.
Why did you stop taking the anger meds?
I didn't think they were working. I'm okay to continue.
If it doesn't work out, we can always move back to Queens. I don't want to go back to Queens, bro. I like the weather out here too much.
Take me for a round. I last 30 seconds, you let me take you out on a date. Last 60 seconds, I'll let you...
Time! How much time?
3 seconds.
What's up, Ari? What kind of studio are you running around here?
He doesn't like drama. Wants to cut him out.
If they try to cut out my brother, I kill somebody. Even if you sucked as bad as drama probably sucks.
Man.
So Entourage is coming out tomorrow in the theaters, and basically it's the follow-up to a really popular HBO series called, of course, Entourage.
I was obsessed with the series.
A lot of people were, and actually it was on for quite a while. I think it was 8 seasons, and it's just about an actor, like the life of a Hollywood actor and his crew, his team, his entourage, the people who, you know, kind of make him who he is, and people really like it. So, you know, go ahead and check that out if you like the show or if you just want something to do this weekend, all right? There's really good reviews, and it's very highly anticipated, so, you know, there you go.
I know, I'll watch it.
Now into the cult classic, of course. So we have this week, this is actually a movie that took place here and in Congo, and it's kind of a historic, it's supposed to be the film adaptation of someone's life. I'm not going to give it all away yet. Let's watch a trailer.
On December 16th, 1966, Diane Fossey left a life of comfort and privilege and went alone into the mountains of Africa.
Some believe a woman living alone up there has to be mad.
She was determined to make contact with the wild mountain gorillas and save them from extinction. Someone wanted her stopped. In a land of beauty, wonder, and danger, she risked her life.
Get down! Don't move!
She would follow a dream.
You, my beautiful, are becoming a legend.
And fall in love.
Do you think I'm weird?
Yes, I do, absolutely, without question. I also think you are wonderful.
But she would risk it all to save the gorillas in the mist.
Are you responsible for kidnapping this animal?
Deal of sale, madam.
What are you doing? Give my gorillas the protection they're entitled to.
Your gorillas.
Am I a murderer? Did I do this? This won't stop until those butchers are stopped.
Universal Pictures and Warner Brothers present Sigourney Weaver, Brian Brown, in the true story of one woman's incredible courage.
This one like was yesterday.
I know.
Yeah,
I was like
it was yesterday.
Yeah.
This movie came out in 1988. How old are you?
I got to watch it in 90-something, 90.
Sure, you watched it in 88. Stop lying.
Maybe
Trying to be young. Trying to be an Arnold. Don't pull an Arnold.
I represent my age bracket.
Yeah. So basically, this movie is about Diane Fossey, the life of Diane Fossey, and basically she came just to do research do research on gorillas in Rwanda and Congo, and she fell in love with the place, ended up staying here and becoming kind of her own little, you know, defender of gorillas. There's even a center still there here in Rwanda for her, and
was
you know,
like
research
Peter
is still
before
happening.
Peter.
I think Peter was still happy, but anyway.
I don't know.
Yeah, so she ended up actually dying, a bit of an untimely death, but you know, she kind of dedicated her life to these gorillas, and this is the movie about it. It takes place here in Rwanda.
Nice movie to show right before the Kwita Izina.
Kwita Izina's coming up, you know, in a few months, but still, this is a good little movie to check out. So if you haven't seen it yet, go ahead and check that out, starring Sigourney Weaver, a big actress. So, you know, we have a little film industry going on here. Okay, and before we wrap up the movie review, it is time to give out some free tickets, okay? All you have to do to win is tell us why you deserve to win 2 tickets to go see any movie of your choice at Century Cinemas. I've been getting some really good answers as well. So we'll announce the winners tomorrow. Good luck, and don't go anywhere. Hot Topics is coming up next. Welcome back. It's that Hot Topics time again. As always, the Rise and Shine team have been out and about gathering everything you need to know about what's happening here and abroad, from what's trending on Twitter and Facebook to the debates in your local cafes and bars. We've got it for you right here, right now. Now, by far, one of the biggest I guess, or the hottest topics right now is actually this situation that's happening in Dominican Republic.
Right.
I think you guys may have heard about it. Basically, what's happening is there was a law that was passed in 2013, basically stripping Dominican people, but of Haitian descent, of their citizenship. So basically, when people from Haiti would migrate to the Dominican Republic and have children there, they, of course, as you would assume, would have citizenship because they were born in the country. But there was a law that was passed to basically strip them of that citizenship and telling them that they had a couple of years. There was another law that was passed last year saying that you can reapply for residency as a foreigner. And then after 2 years of working, you can become naturalized. Now, this is for people who are born in Dominican Republic, who are Dominican people, and their whole lives have been there. A lot of them have never even been to Haiti, don't know life there. So, as you can imagine, this is a big problem all over the world. And a lot of people are saying that it's not even only about, you know, different country citizenship and stuff. It's about race. It's a race matter because, as you know, Haiti is majority black people. Yeah. So this has been a big problem. There's over 500,000 undocumented people who are at risk, and it's kind of been a big debate because, you know, the law is that they have to go and apply to become residents as foreigners, but they are not foreigners. They're actually Dominicans. They were born there. So people are kind of scrambling. The deadline was yesterday, so people were scrambling to see if they can get it. They're going to be... It's reported that they're going to be rounded up and kind of just deported back to Haiti.
To a place they've never been.
A place that they've never been to. So it's actually very mind-blowing that it's even happening in this day and age, and they're kind of standing their ground despite international pressure. What do you guys think about this? Haiti is the poorest country in the Western Hemisphere. They're still kind of recovering from this big earthquake that was there in 2010. I mean, it's a bad situation. What do you guys think?
This is really bad, especially because it's Haiti. I mean, if you think about it, in Southern Europe, it's about to happen too, because you have a lot of West Wingers who are coming in power, and they're trying to make sure that foreigners, you know, stay outside the country, or those who are in the country get pushed back outside the country. So, but at least there, you have, you know, you still have laws that can defend them, and they can still, you know, you have the European Union. It's a bit different. In Haiti, I mean, like you say, the 2010 earthquake took so much from the country that was already very poor. Now to add to this, they're not ready to welcome all these people there if they have to. So,
and not only that, but these are so many people who they don't know anything else about
the Dominican Republic.
They're pulling up their lives.
Exactly. I think it's ridiculous because, I mean, they have jobs, they probably even have families, they have friends there. You cannot just make them leave just because apparently they're not citizens. I think it's ridiculous. They have a right to be there, and, you know, like you said, they should completely stand their ground, because if they do agree to move, then they'll feel like they can get away with it. Then, you know, they'll actually make sure the law sticks.
A lot of media is calling this an ethnic cleansing or different things like that, because they're saying that basically it's a race issue. They don't want the black people in their country. It's it's madness, and hopefully something can
So
be done.
sometimes humanity makes you wonder what's happening. I mean, this will never happen.
Now, speaking of racism in the world, there was another scandal, I suppose, that happened right here in Rwanda with AB Bank. I think everyone has seen this as well. It's all over Twitter and Facebook. People are outraged, and of course in media. Basically, there was some senior managers at AB Bank, expats, okay, coming from Europe. And basically what happened was that there were some leaks, there were some emails that were leaked of a conversation that was between them concerning an employee that basically had a certain position, and for whatever reason, they couldn't maintain that position for him, so they wanted to give him a different position, basically demoting him. So he would have had a pay cut and a different responsibility. He refused, and you know, because of labor laws, you can't just fire someone. Yeah. He could have taken them to court. So the exchange over email is them discussing what to do with him, and it becomes very, as you can see there, they call him monkey officer. So basically what they're saying is that, you know, they want to give him a different position so that he doesn't end up taking them to court. So there is words like, you know, let's just, you know, make him the mumbo jumbo officer to kind of placate him. So mumbo jumbo was used, and then the other person says the monkey officer. So it's obviously people are extremely upset about this. It comes off to be extremely racist. It's very offensive either way. And so now the employee has been suspended until, you know, investigations and whatever can happen. But the thing is, what do you guys think about this? Expats coming into this country, and I mean, this is just extremely disrespectful.
I say we love the investments. We love the fact that they want to bring in money into the country.
But
you coming into
our
country and calling us monkeys, I do not agree with. In fact, you go back to your country, then call us monkeys from there, not in our own, not in our own home. I'm sorry, it's not acceptable. It's just
That
ridiculous.
shouldn't even be happening.
You have no right.
People shouldn't be calling each other monkeys. I mean, again, it makes you question humanity. It gets to the point where, okay, maybe the person wasn't doing all they were supposed to do. Okay, maybe they were not as professional as they should have been. That we can understand. But from there to labeling them those kind of names.
But the thing is, even if he was not being professional, then teach him how to be professional. You be professional. Don't call him a monkey.
To that one,
it's just ridiculous.
The question is this: why do you feel as though you know, email is the appropriate medium to even be saying things like this? And when you see the actual emails, you think to yourself, what are they discussing in person if they feel brave enough to actually write this in an email?
Especially since the person said monkey officer, I feel like this is positive.
Yeah.
That's really scary if you think about it.
And this is people who are working in our country, and I think sometimes we forget, because there's so many people who are expats who are doing good work in the country. We forget that a lot of them really are just racist, or you know.
And I think there's also a complex from us, from some of our people who look at them like they're the second coming of God or something.
No, I totally agree. That's very true. Yeah, because I mean, there's a way you treat them. If he comes into the office and he feels like you're all quiet and all, you know, because you're saying, oh, here's the big boss, the expat, then clearly he'll feel like he can mistreat you, he can say whatever he wants to your face. Show him you're in our country, we are all on the same level, we can all achieve the same things you've achieved because I'm not stupid, and he'll know to respect you. That's just the easiest way.
I mean, let's see what happens with this. I want to know myself.
I say go home. I'm sorry. I don't.
That's disrespectful.
I mean,
I really know.
And you know, this kind of thing happens in all companies. Everyone says their little thing, bosses and employees, and there's always, like, you know, drama. But when it comes to saying monkeys and things like that, no.
You're not calling me a monkey and staying here. I'm sorry. I make sure you're gone.
Someone's upset.
Very simple.
But we want to know what you think. So don't forget, we love to hear your thoughts, comments, and feedback on what we're talking about here on Rise and Shine Rwanda. Tweet us at Rise and Shine RW. We want to know what you feel and what you think. Like us on Facebook, send us ideas for programs, tag us in your photos, comment on what we write. Check out our Rise and Shine Rwanda YouTube page where you can catch all the shows and reports that we upload daily for you. Follow us on Instagram, Rise and Shine RW. We're always posting behind the scenes photos, or simply check out our Rise and Shine Rwanda website. That's all the time for today, but we love to hear your feedback. We want to know what you think about what we're doing on the show, what we're talking about. all of that. So let us know if you have any ideas or, you know, just what you think. You've been watching Rise and Shine Rwanda with me, Makeda Mahario.
And me, Regis Ishesha, will be here same time, same place tomorrow. Do join us then. But for now, from the both of us and the beautiful Fifi here, have a great day. Bye-bye.
Bye.